Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining me for this 45-minute yoga session today. In this yoga practice, we are going to be focusing on poses that create the energy of awakening. So if you ever are feeling tired or sluggish and you need to and want to get back to a place where you feel awake and present, this is a really great video to come back to so that you can generate that feeling of awakening for yourself. As you move through these poses, remember the importance of utilizing your breath to expand and contract your body. By lengthening your breath in these poses, you create a heat from the inside of your body out that ultimately will give you more energy. The breathing that you do in this practice is done through your nose. It's a long, deep breath in through your nose and out of your nose that you lightly constrict in the back of your throat. When you lightly constrict the breath as it moves in and out of your nose, you have the ability to control how much air you're bringing in and how much air you're pressing out. When you're controlling the amount of inflow and outflow of breath, then you're also controlling your energy. So focus on your breath as you move through this practice. We'll begin today's practice in downward facing dog. So what you want to do to start is you want to take your hands and feet pretty far apart from each other on your mat. You can always look up at the screen if you need a reference. And then you're going to just move one leg and then the other and start to work out the kinks in your body. You might shake your head out, drop your head, and look between your feet. Very good. Now you're going to bring the inner edges of your feet together and extend your right leg back behind you. Bend your knee, your upper knee, and stack your hips on top of each other. Release your right leg down, extend your left leg up behind you, bend your knee and stack your hips on top of each other. And release your left leg down. Now you're going to walk your feet to the top of your mat. You want to separate your feet about hip width apart. Okay, grab your opposite elbows, drop your head down. From here you can move from side to side if it feels good, or you can just hang and let your head be heavy. Anytime that you drop your head below your heart, your central nervous system takes a break, which means that your mind will chill out. You'll calm down. So what you're doing here is you're getting integrated in your body. You're connecting your body and your mind and getting present so that we can do some movements that will awaken you and energize you. Now bring your hands to your hips and lengthen the crown of your head forward. Keep your spine nice and long and rise all the way up to a stand. Now bring your feet together, extend your arms up, and now bring your arms alongside your body. So a quick lesson in breathing for you. Anytime that you're moving your body in an upward facing direction or upward direction, you're going to be taking an inhale. So an inhale through your nose. Anytime you're moving in a downward direction, you're going to be using an exhale. And that's consistent through all of the practices that we teach and through all of the poses that you do. And when you're holding poses, you would stay consistent with a rhythm breathing in and out of your nose. Okay, so step back to the top of your mat, bring your arms alongside your body, breathe in through your nose and reach your arms up toward the ceiling. Fold forward and grab your calves as you breathe out. Place your hands on your shin bones, lengthen the crown of your head forward, breathe in. Plant your hands to your mat, step back to a high plank position, and lower all the way down to your belly, breathe out. Flip your feet over, bring your fingertips back and alongside of your body, and then pull your elbows in towards each other as you press the tops of your feet down. Come up onto your hands and your knees, press back to downward facing dog. Downward facing dog, bend one leg and then the other leg. Again, just get out any tension or tightness that you're holding on to. Okay, now take a big breath in through your nose. Empty all of your breath out. Step your feet between your hands. Halfway lift, press your hands to your shin bones, lengthen your head forward. Forward fold, grab your calves, pull your head towards your knees. Extended mountain pose, reach your arms up, look up in between your hands. Forward fold, grab your calves, pull your nose towards your knees. Halfway lift, press into your shin bones, lengthen your head forward. High to low plank, empty your breath out, lower to your belly. Cobra pose, push to your toenails and lift your chest. Downward facing dog, lift your hips up and back. Okay, so you're just getting the general idea of how the poses work. And the more repetition you do with these poses, the more you'll be able to incorporate your breath and create awakening. Okay? So now I'm going to add in breath cues with the name of the poses. If you need to look at the video for reference, you can. Okay? Take a long breath in through your nose. Empty all of your breath. Step your feet between your hands. Halfway lift, breathe in. Forward fold, breathe out. Extended mountain, breathe in. Forward fold, breathe out. Halfway lift, breathe in. Step back, lower down to your belly, breathe out. Cobra, breathe in. Downward facing dog, breathe out. Okay, now breathe in and out of your nose in downward dog. Take a long breath in. Empty your breath. Step your feet between your hands. Halfway lift, breathe in. Forward fold, breathe out. Extended mountain, breathe in. Forward fold, breathe out. Halfway lift, breathe in. Step back, lower to your belly, breathe out. Cobra, breathe in. Downward facing dog, breathe out. A couple big breaths in and out of your nose. Okay, we'll do one more round of poses like that. Take a long inhale. Empty your breath first. Feet between your hands. Halfway lift, breathe in. Forward fold, breathe out. Extended mountain, breathe in. Forward fold, breathe out. Halfway lift, breathe in. Step back, lower to your belly, breathe out. Cobra, big breath in. Downward facing dog, breathe out. Wag your tail. And move your hips from side to side, shake your head out. You should feel a little bit more awake than when you started. Feel some energy and heat building in your body. Now bend your knees so they hover an inch above the earth. Take a breath in. Straighten your legs, breathe out. Real simple like this. Bend your knees, breathe in. Straighten, breathe out. Bend, inhale. Straighten, exhale. Bend. Straighten. Bend. Straighten. 2 more. Bend. Straighten. Don't forget your breath. Bend, breathe in. Straighten, breathe out. Step your feet between your hands. Halfway lift, breathe in. Forward fold, breathe out. Chair. Okay, bend your legs, take your arms up. Bring your hands to your hips. And it doesn't matter how low you go in this pose, what matters is how integrated you are, meaning how much you're pulling your muscles to your bones. So lift the front of your pelvis up toward your belly button. Pull your front ribs in towards center and take your arms up. Focus your eyes to one spot in front of you. Breathe in and out of your nose. Stay with it. Take a breath in. Forward fold, breathe out. Grab your calves. Halfway lift, breathe in. Step back, lower down to your belly, breathe out. Cobra, inhale. Downward dog, exhale. Step your right foot forward. Pivot your back foot flat. And then rise up so your hands are on your hips. Okay, this is the base, the foundation of Warrior One. Bring your right knee over your right ankle. Bring your right knee in line with your right hip. From here, extend your arms up. Okay, now take deep rhythmic breaths in and out of your nose while you're focusing your eyes. Pull your front ribs in towards center. Pull your shoulders straight back. Now take your eyes up and take a breath in. Plant your hands to your mat. Step back to a high plank. Lower to your belly. Cobra, breathe in. Downward facing dog, breathe out. Step your left foot forward. Pivot your back foot flat. Come on up with your hands on your hips. And for this pose, you're working to rotate, push your right hip forward as best you can. And then take your arms up, set your eyes and breathe. And lengthen your arms even more. Deepen your stride even more. Go for more. Stretch up, lengthen. Now plant your hands to your mat. Step to a high plank. Slowly lower down to your belly. Cobra. Downward facing dog. And stay in downward dog. Keep your breath moving. Move your body however it feels good for you. So what you just did was hold chair and warrior one on both legs. Now what you're going to do is you're going to move into every pose, linking one breath for every movement. Okay? So if you ever need to, you can look at the screen. First, take a long breath in. Empty all of your breath. Step your feet between your hands. Halfway lift, breathe in. Forward fold, breathe out. No rush. Chair pose, breathe in. Forward fold, breathe out. Halfway lift, breathe in. Lower down to your belly, breathe out. Cobra, breathe in. Downward facing dog, breathe out. Step your right foot forward, pivot your back foot down. Warrior one, breathe in. High plank, lower to your belly, breathe out. Cobra. Downward facing dog. Left foot forward, back foot flat. Warrior one, breathe in. Lower down to your belly, breathe out. Cobra. Downward facing dog. And every time that you move through these poses, in this series of poses, do your best to smooth your movements out. And not only that, smooth your movements out and your breath out as you link your breath and your movements together. Okay, take a big breath in. Empty all of your breath. Bring your feet in between your hands. Halfway lift, breathe in. Forward fold, breathe out. Chair pose. Forward fold. Halfway lift. Lower to your belly. Nice and slow, strong core. Cobra. Downward facing dog. Warrior one, right leg. Lower to your belly. Cobra. Downward facing dog. Warrior one, left leg. Lower down to the ground. Cobra. Downward dog. Drop your head, relax your head. Feel the heat and energy that's building, the awakening that's happening for your body through the movements. Okay, take a breath in. Empty your breath. Feet between your hands. Halfway lift. Forward fold. Chair. Forward fold. Halfway lift. Lower down. Cobra. Downward dog. Warrior one, right leg forward, back foot flat. Lower to the ground. Cobra. Downward facing dog. Warrior one, left foot forward, right foot flat. Lower down to the ground. Cobra. Downward facing dog. Last time through. Breathe in. Empty. Feet forward. Halfway lift. Forward fold. Chair. Forward fold. Halfway lift. Lower to the ground. Cobra. Downward dog. Warrior one, right leg. Lower. Cobra. Downward dog. Warrior one, left leg. Lower. Cobra. Downward facing dog. Now bring the inner edges of your feet together at the back of your mat. Take your right leg up behind you. Bend your right knee. Stack your hips. And you're going to flip your dog. So you're going to pivot your bottom foot. And you're going to bring both of your feet down to the ground. Start by dropping both your bottom down. Bring your feet hip-width apart. Good, now push into your left hand and your feet. Re-extend your right arm up. If it feels good, you can reach forward. And from here, come to downward facing dog. Take your left leg up. Bend your knees, stack your hips. Good, now you're going to flip your dog. You can go up with your left arm or forward, whatever feels good for you. Good, just bring your left hand down and spin to downward facing dog. All right, now come on down to your knees. Tuck your toes, and you're going to stand up on your knees. Okay? For this pose, which is called camel pose, you're going to do a few things specifically to help support your back. First thing is you're going to tuck your toes. So you see how my toes are tucked? You're going to tuck your toes, and then you're going to take your hands to your low back, right above your hips, and just hook your hands there. Next thing you're going to do is you're going to press your chest up, pull your elbows towards each other, and then look up. Take some breath here. Like deep inhales and exhales through your nose. And now bring your head forward, plant your hands, press back to downward facing dog. Shake your head out, move your hips from side to side. And bring your knees back down to your mat and rise up to a stand on your knees. Okay, similar, but this time you're going to take your hands to your heels. So one hand at a time, hook your heels with your fingers, pull your fingers into your heels, and lift your chest up. You can take your eyes up or back, move your breath in and out of your nose. Pull your chin into your throat, lift your head up. Release your feet and push to downward facing dog. Bend one leg and then the other. Okay, good. Now you're going to bring your knees down, and you're going to separate your knees so there's some space for you to drop your butt between your heels. And then you can stay seated just like this if it hurts your knees. And if it doesn't hurt your knees, you can come all the way back onto your forearms, and then some of you might be able to go all the way onto your back. This is going to isolate your quadriceps and your hips. It might be a little intense to start with. If it's too intense, just rise back up and come to a seated position. But if it's not too intense, you can always just drop down onto your forearms. Move your breath in and out of your nose. And then slowly make your way up onto your hands, straighten your arms, and you'll come to downward dog as a way to stretch out your toes and your shins. One final downward facing dog here for this session. Okay, good. Now come on down to your knees, and you're going to set up for what's called frog pose. Okay, in frog pose, you're working with 90-degree angles, so you're going to take your knees out nice and wide on your mat. And you want to create a 90-degree angle between your knee and your ankles on both sides. And you want to point your toes out to the side, so not pointed back, but toes out to the side. And from here, you're going to bring your forearms down to the ground and relax your head. This pose is a pose of patience. Stay here and allow the weight of the world to drop off your shoulders and allow gravity to lightly push you down over time. Observe the temperature in your body. All that heat is heat that you created from your movement, right? And if you can create that heat, that kind of heat and that kind of energy here on your yoga mat, you can do that anywhere in your life. You can create anything you want in your life. You just have to put it into action. You have to be willing to begin again and start doing the work that's required for greatness. As you start to get a little more comfortable in your initial pose, you can move your knees a little further apart from each other. And the moment you want to come out of a pose is the moment that the pose begins. Just stay with the pose and the sensation that you're feeling. Allow it to change and shift, because it will. Everything changes and shifts. Okay, good. Now straighten your arms to start with and bring one knee into center followed by the other knee. So you want to move out of those poses nice and slow. Come to a seated position. In your seated position, you're going to take the soles of your feet together and your knees wide for a butterfly, okay? And what you're going to do in this butterfly is you're going to take your hands and arms and slide them underneath your legs. And you're going to pull your nose down towards your toes. Relax the tension out of your neck. Maybe even just move your head from side to side a little bit. It can feel good. And then go ahead and rise on up. Now you're going to take your legs straight in front of you for a seated forward fold. Bring a little bend to your knees. You can either grab the outsides of your feet or grab behind your legs. Pull your head down. Okay, good. And then come on up. And you're going to lay down onto your back. And on your back, you're going to do what's called a spinal twist. So you're going to lift your hips up and move them off to the right side of your mat. Watch. Lift and move. You're going to take your left leg straight, bring your right knee in, and twist your right knee off to the left. You can look off to the right if you want to. Relax your breath down. Just be calm and be steady. And now come back to center. You're going to lift your hips up. Move your hips to the left. Take your right leg straight. Pull your left knee in and across your body. Good. Now you can look off to the left or you can look straight up. Again, just depends on how it feels in your shoulders. Take your right hand to the top of your left leg and just lightly guide it down. Bring your legs back to center. Now bring the soles of your feet together and take your knees apart from each other. Supta Baddha Konasana. It means reclined butterfly. Grab a hold of your left tricep with your right hand and take a nice stretch here. So you're going to pull your right tricep across your body. Just get your shoulders a stretch. And now switch sides with keep your legs the same, but take your left hand onto your right tricep and slightly pull your right arm across your body. And if you just push your right shoulder blade down into the mat, you'll feel a little more stretch across your shoulder. Okay, good. Now bring both of your triceps onto the ground. Relax your forearms down. You're going to use your hands to pull your knees together and draw your knees into your chest. Pull your knees straight in and pull your knees off to the right a little and in, and pull your knees off to the left a little bit and in. Okay, and now you're going to come to a happy baby. Grab the outsides of your feet. Take your arms to the insides of your legs and draw your legs straight down. Okay, good. Now, you're going to take your legs and you're going to lift them up above you. So, for an inversion. So what you'll do is you'll just keep your back flat on the ground and take your legs straight up. Now, if you have a hard time holding your legs up like this because of your flexibility or range of motion, you can always go up against the wall and swing your legs up the wall. So it's your choice. However you get set up, once you do, close your eyes down. Trace your breath in and out of your nose. And just keep your feet up nice and high. This is a great way to drain the blood from your legs all the way down into your vital organs.
And so after creating all the energy that you created and awakening that you created in this practice, now you have a chance to rejuvenate. If you ever need to just rejuvenate, like you feel exhausted or tired, this is a great pose to hold. It'll help you change your whole mindset, whole perspective. Okay, good. Now bring your legs down and take your legs in front of you. Bring your arms alongside your body and close your eyes. You're just going to lay here in silence for a few minutes to let all of your hard work saturate your muscles. Start to move your fingers and your toes. And stretch your arms long behind you. Roll over onto your right side. This is a final pose, a fetal position. And from your fetal position, press up to a seated position. Cross your ankles, sit up nice and tall. Close your eyes down. Scan your body from your feet to the crown of your head. Notice a shift in your energy. Hopefully you're experiencing a new form of awakening in your body. I know that I am. Good, and then interlace your fingers and stretch your arms up. Relax your arms beside you. Hey, thank you everyone for joining me for this 45-minute yoga practice designed to help you create more awakening. It's really wonderful having you a part of this, and I'm looking forward to hearing how it goes for you. See you.